So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shakti. Let's meet on the mat. We want to start with flossing, one of my favorite things that I've learned about and have been incorporating in 2023. So we're going to start in tabletop hands and knees. And this isn't real rigid, this position. I just want you to be comfortable and notice where you put your hands. You might notice my heels of my hands are always a little bit forward of my shoulder. I want you to take your elbows down to the mat so that your elbows are a little bit ahead of your shoulder and you've got room to move around. Toes can be turned under or flat, it doesn't matter to me. So flossing involves two things: muscle engagement and elongation of that muscle. So I want you to push into your hands like you're trying to press them into the mat. Pull back with your elbows like you're trying to glide them back, and you're going to feel your core body kick in at that moment. And then use all of that as you start to bring your hips back towards your heels. You're going to find a place where you can't go anymore. Release and come forward. See if you can shift over your hands. You may or may not be able to do that right away. Press down, pull back, and move towards your heels. The release is coming forward and the work is going backward. And so you want to keep that muscle engagement while you move backward as much as you can. And for my Pitic friends like me, you don't have to work at 100%. Just get the muscle activated. You might feel this in the back of your arm, across your shoulders, across your upper back and neck. I had a neck stiff neck thing a couple days ago, and I could not believe how much this helped it. So if you're one of those people that have neck things, this is a great one just to do. Pay attention to going backwards. Let it go and come forward. Let's do a couple more. So we're flossing over the connective tissue of the joints around the upper back, shoulders, chest, neck. Good. And then come back to center. Come back up onto your arms. And then if you can, either come off your hands all together, sit on your feet if you can, just let your arms relax. So that's one of my favorite moves for the whole upper torso that we use a lot in this class. The second favorite move is with the legs. For that, you might want to use your blocks. If you have blocks close by, use them. I'm going to turn a little bit on an angle. I want you to take your right foot forward so you're in a kneeling lunge. Pad your knee, your back knee if you need to. And we're doing the same thing. So when we come forward, it's the release move. You're going to find your sort of range of motion. Then push into your foot and drag it backward, and then lean towards your back leg. When you find your edge, release it, come forward, inhale. Push, pull, and drag or glide back. Now, a little variation here is that when you come back, you can lift the ball of the foot as you push and as you pull to get into the calf a little. And then come forward. So push, pull. And the hands on the blocks are really just for keeping your upper body elongated so that you're not really working in your back. If you have knee stuff, this is a great one to do before you do your whatever activity. So let's say you're a runner or a hiker. Do this first and you'll feel so much better. You won't get that tension in around your knees if you happen to have that. All right, we'll do two more and then we'll switch legs. So forward, release, push, pull, and glide on the way back. You're elongating the muscles of the back of the leg. And then release it. Switch your legs out and we'll do the same thing. So find your edge coming forward. Everybody's different. You're going to get stopped probably by this back hip. And then push down into your foot. Pull it backward like you're trying to slide it towards your other leg. And then lean back towards your hip. or towards your foot. And then again, you can keep your front foot flat on the floor. If you want more juice, pick the ball of the foot up and go backwards more. So press, pull, and glide. And sometimes it takes a minute to figure all that out. You're not just rocking forward and back. You're intentionally getting the back of the leg activated and keeping it that way while you move your body. And then as you come forward, you can release it. Inhale. You might notice that things start to feel less sticky. One more time here. Push, pull, glide. Good. And then come to center. Let's get rid of the blocks for a moment. Let's get rid of that position and the flossing, and let's come to tabletop. Turn your toes under, let your hands be a little bit ahead of your shoulders. Wrap your shoulders down and away from your ears so they're not up here. It's an external rotation around. Hold that and lift your knees just off the mat. That'll kick your core body in quicker than just about anything. Release it and then stretch back towards your heels. Lift the pad of your hands off the floor, but leave your heels of your hands on the floor. So you're really stretching through your heels of your hands and wrists. Come forward, see if you can shift now over your own wrists and then lift your knees. Are you still wrapping your shoulders away from your ears? And down and release, lift the pads of your hands. Only the heels of your hands are touching, and all 5 fingers are reaching apart. One more time, come forward, shift more forward if you can, and then lift the knees. So we're asking, we're not demanding, we're asking something else of the body. Keep your knees off the floor as you go back into bent-legged dog pose, and start to press one heel at a time towards the mat. Take your time. We've already flossed the back of the leg, so you might actually feel a little bit better. Keep wrapping your shoulders away from your ears. It feels like I'm taking your shoulders and moving them outward so that they're not near your ears. There should be lots of space between your ears and your arms. Good. Both knees bend a lot, like you're going to jump, but don't jump. Come forward into your full plank. Plank is the favorite for a lot of people. It tries to target all the areas of the body, but we're going to play with it differently today. So bend the knees, go back, downward facing dog. Taking a breath here, and then we're just going to do one variation, and then we'll get off our arms for a minute. Come forward. Let your heels go to the right. Heart goes forward. Twisted sister, one of my favorites. Good. Come back to center, downward facing. Bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, come forward, plank. Heels go to the left, twisted sister. Heart goes forward. Can you feel your obliques turn on? Come center and bend the knees, downward facing. From here, walk yourself to the front of your mat. Take your time, little baby walkie walks. Come off your hands, make a fist, rotate your wrists. Soft knees, but let your body drape over your legs. All right, from here, let your feet come all the way together so they touch. And you're going to drop your hips down. Remember one of my favorite moves? What did I always do? Bring your elbows to your legs and trying to bring your hips down towards what I'm going to call the imaginary toilet seat. The knees and the heels of the feet are squeezing together. Find your pelvic floor and your lower belly and then hover. So I used to call these what? The squatty potties. Lift your toes up. Find the energy moving backwards so that you're more in your legs and less in your knees. Hands are free. Take one more breath here. And then find the thumbs at your rib cage or your sternum and pull your chest up so that you're more in chair pose here. Core body's engaged, legs are squeezing, arms are out in front of you. Drop your shoulders in. Externally rotate your shoulders so palms are up. From here, bend your elbows and see if you can take your arms outward. So you're in cactus here. Be careful about collapsing. Belly in, long spine, heart open. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, elbows in your back pockets. You can do it. Inhale, arms up. Exhale in your back pockets. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale in your back pockets. From here, shoot your hands back and come forward halfway down. And then release it and come all the way down. Let go of your legs and separate them into a neutral spine or a neutral stance. Straighten your left leg and bend your right knee. See if you can do that. And then straighten your right leg and bend your left knee. Good. Sit back in that squatty potty again, eyes forward, reach your arms toward the wall in front of you. Shoot the energy backward with your glutes, forward with your arms. Push into your legs, inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Pause here for a moment. Palms down. And just take a second. Rearrange your clothes. All right. A lot of warm-up moves. A lot of that is my favorites. I'm doing my favorites. This is 2023 favorites. All right, so I want you to use the length of your mat. If you have the room and you want to stay long ways, we're going to step laterally, and I want you to be able to feel solid. All right, feet come all the way together again like we did before, and then come into what I'm going to call an easy chair. I don't want it super hard. If you lift your toes up, you're going to feel the weight of your body shift backward, and that's where I want you, not forward. Hands at your heart for a moment. Do not lift your head up. Pretend you're like at a ceiling height right here. You're just going to step in and step in and step in and step in. Okay, so you're in a squatted position, working outer and inner leg. The wider you go, the more you ask yourself, and then ask yourself, is my head staying level? Or am I bobbing up and down? If you can do this fairly well, drop down another half an inch or so. See if you can. Core body is engaged, right? So thinking about endurance here. Now from here, take it a little wider and a little faster. This is something I introduced last year. We were doing what we called challenge moves. Little quicker, little faster. Little quicker, little faster. All right, now if you want, you can let your arms go and kind of like do the skiing motion. Do not move your head up and down, keep your head steady. And then if you want, you can do a little hop, but I'm still not trying to go up and down. All right, I want you to work a little bit. Try to breathe through your nose. Don't breathe through your mouth. I have to breathe through my mouth because I'm talking. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. I'm just standing. Tadasana mountain pose. Try to breathe through your nose. Why do I want you to do that? Because it's really important to get down into the deeper lobes of the lungs. So the teaching is, you hear how much I'm breathing, and I can't breathe through my nose because I'm talking to you, but it would be really hard for me to breathe only through my nose at the level that I just pushed myself. And if you can't breathe through your nose, it's what we call respiration break point in the fitness world. And it means that your body is overworking. It's in a fight or flight mode. It's trying to keep up. Now, a little bit of that is all right, but consistently, no. So the Ayurvedic teaching is to breathe through the nose while you're running, while you're walking, while you're hiking. Any aerobic activity. It's quite hard. Quite hard. All right, ready for weights? Let's pick them up. I usually have you start with the lightweight, so let's start with that. And if right away you know, because we've done quite a bit of warm up with the arms, if right away you know that you don't need to use the lightweight, you can jump right into the heavier ones, go ahead. Favorite move, one of Sue's favorite moves. So elbows are going to stick by the side body, palms or the weights are going to be together. This is that crisscross move. Do you remember it? So we open the hands and we crisscross over. And we open the hands and we crisscross over. Okay, so this is the base movement pattern. We're going to go over the head in a second. So try not to move your elbows behind your body. You're keeping them right at your side, and you're only going where you can go with that. Next time you open your hands, stay there, bring them more towards your shoulders, push them over your head. Shoulders, open, crisscross, open, shoulders, up, down. So it's a combo move, external rotation, internal rotation, and overhead. Cross, open, in, push. All right. One of the things I introduced a lot this past year was combination moves or compound movements. And so the next time your hands come, your elbows come back to your waist, you can sit in a squat. So here, cross, open, and then push and lift. Sit, cross, open, push and lift. So you got to decide about your weights. Do your light weights feel best? Or do you want the challenge of the heavier weights? My body says lighter weights at the moment. Down, crisscross, open, and up. We'll do one more here, and then we're going to do a similar movement in a different position. Up, over, and down. Okay. Crisscross your arms. Stay there. I'm going to turn so you can see. Bend your knees and hinge so that you're tabletop kind of position. So the more forward you are, the better. You're holding onto your own elbows here. Slide your hands upward like you're giving yourself a big hug. Go down and then slide and cross over the other way. Down. I'm going to turn so you can see cross. So these are similar but a little bit harder. Now, what I want you to think about is when you come down and open, can you open the arms? Crisscross and come all the way over. Down and open the arms. Crisscross, touch. Down and open. So our bodies love to move as long as we don't overtax them. When we're young, we can do it all day long and our bodies still recover. But as we get older, it gets harder and harder. And that recovery at some point doesn't happen. And that's how we get injured. So we have to be discerning, right? With not only what we do day to day and how we eat and who we talk to and our mindset and all the other things, we have to be discerning with how hard do we need to push our bodies really. Last time, hold the crisscross and then come all the way up to standing. Terrific. Let your arms go down, all the shoulders. All right, switch it over to heavier weight. Now, if that was your heavy weight and you don't want to go any higher, that's fine too. We're going to start to move the body a little bit more, compound movement wise. So we're going to take a step out to the side, and then we're going to bend into that knee. Notice my other leg is straight. We're going to push up and come back to center. Take the other step, bend into that knee. So you see how I'm in a squatted position on one leg, up and center. Hands look like this. Step, cross and curl, down, center. Step, curl, in. Now pick that tempo up. Step, curl, up, center. Step, curl. Think of a one-legged squat. One-legged squat. Heart stays up. Eyes stay up. Don't look to the floor. Your body knows where you are. You don't have to watch. Big step, and then bend your knee as you can. Stick your booty out behind you. And go where you go. People that have knee stuff, this might be a narrower step and a smaller bend. Up. Send the message to your body that movement is good, that you're not afraid of it, that you're going to ride that energy. Let's do one more on each side. Curl and up. Curl and up. Terrific. Take a wide stance. We'll do something stationary here. Turn your right foot so it's facing the end of your mat. Left heel back slightly. Bend your front knee. Take 2 weights in your straight leg. It'll be your left leg if you did what I had called you to do. Bent knee, so you're in warrior 2 stance. Arms straight down. So your body isn't forward and it isn't completely open. It's a little bit in the middle. You're just going to curl and lower. You want this to be hard. We're holding a stance, a stationary, strong stance, while we work the bicep. And if it goes up into your collarbone, neck, or shoulder, it's too heavy. But I want you to think about picking up things that are heavy, like bags of groceries or boxes that you have to put away. All right, we're going to add something. Ready? We're going to go down to the floor. I've got my free hand on my leg. I'm going to row up, and then I'm going to curl to my shoulder. Down to the floor, row, curl to the shoulder. Down, row, curl to the shoulder. One more like that. Down, row, curl to the shoulder. Now land on your forearm so you're resting, and touch the floor and row. Touch the floor and row. Working on the back body on this one side. Make your stance as strong as you can. So you're down as low as you can, and it's work. But remember, how hard do you really have to push yourself? Last 2. One more. Now, set your weights a little bit off the mat. Put the hand you were just working on the floor, pivot into a high lunge, and take your body into a twist. Breathing here. Taking the time. Good. Release. Walk yourself forward so that you're at the edge of your mat. In a wide-legged stance, toes are forward. Come up on your fingertips. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale and fold forward. Let go of your head. Inhale, come halfway up again. Fingertips on the floor. Exhale. Last time, breathe through your nose. And now walk your feet, heel toe your feet in towards each other till they get underneath your body. Bend your knees like you're in that squatty potty. Can you reach your weights from here? Bring your elbows up to your thighs. Bring your weights to your chest. Elbows should be touching your thighs. Weights should be touching your chest or close to them. We're going to go up and down. Ready? Push, down, push, down, push. This is a very strong movement. Down. Got 4 more. Up, down. Remember, you don't have to push overhead. You can always hold your weights at your chest. Make sure you touch yourself each time. Last one. And rest. Nice job. Separate your feet. Turn now your left foot and your right heel back and bend your knees. So you should be on your other leg. 2 weights in one arm if you can. Shoulders are not forward. They're back. And you're just going to curl and lower. And again, knee over ankle or slightly back from the ankle if your knee doesn't like that. Go as low as you can and stay in good form. Don't worry about turning your body toward me or towards your front leg. Just let your body be where it wants to be. And focus on this bicep. Are you stronger in your right arm than your left? I'm usually stronger in my left arm because I carry everything with my left arm. All right, ready? We're gonna add on. So what I want you to do here is lean a little bit forward so that you can touch the floor, row back, and then bring the weight up to your shoulder. Touch, row, up, touch, row, last one, touch, pull. Now land on your forearm, let your weights come to the floor, and just a straight up and down row from here. Core body's engaged. You're in your lowest stance you can be in. Really focus on your upper back. All right, let's do 3 more. Knee over ankle, try not to cheat. 2 more, we're almost there. And 1. Set your weights off. That same hand on the floor, pivot into the lunge, and take your arm up over your head. Nice, strong, deep breath. Hand comes to the floor, step back, find downward facing dog. Wrap your shoulders around your back body. So they're not coming inward and forward, they're coming outward and back. Feeling and sensing into your body. You can be in child's pose if you're tired. From downward facing dog, come forward into your plank. Separate your feet a little wider. Heels go to the right. So think about what your hips are doing. If they're way up high, it's more like a downward facing. And if they're dropping down to the floor, there's no engagement. You can play with dropping your hips, see what that feels like, and then lifting them. That's a really good exercise. But you don't want to do that if it tweaks your lower back. All right, so it's a pretty strong movement. Come back to center, downward facing dog. Inhale back to plank, separating your feet. Heels go to the left. Twisted sister to the side. Remember, no high hips. If you want to play with dropping the hips down and lifting them back up, you can. But again, that's a really strong movement. And I don't want you to tweak your back. All right, downward facing. Taking the breath here. And then on your exhale, knees come to the mat. Come off your hands, again like we did before, either on your knees or on your feet. Make the fist and rotate your wrists. Go slow. Don't do it fast. Open and close your hands. All right, try not to shake them. All right. Another one of Sue's favorite moves. I want you to grab your blocks. And we're going to put the blocks in front of us. We're going to use it like the floor. I want you to come up on your feet. Some of you might recognize this. So we're going to play a little bit with how would I get up and down off the floor? So I want you to have your blocks ahead of you enough and wide enough apart where you feel like you're steady. The little foam blocks are really wiggly, so be careful. Take your right foot slightly forward and your left foot way back. So it looks like I'm going to take off and run, yeah? I want you to push into your front leg and lift off your back leg. And then land. And push. And land. So what we're working with is this front leg. Right? Now the add-on here is that when you land, you can start to bend your knee. Maybe tap the floor, push and lift. Land and maybe bend the knee. So bending the knee can be challenging for a lot of people. That's what stops them. So if that's too hard, keep your legs straighter. And you might ask yourself, if you're doing what I'm doing, could you do it without the blocks? Could you do it without the blocks? Could you? Not without falling over, they say. All right, hands go to the blocks if you pick them off, and bring your legs back together. Bend your knees to come to standing, and shake that front leg out a little bit. So always there's a challenge, and always there's another level to play with. Okay, so we'll try the other side. So make sure your blocks are stable. That's the most important thing. I've got really long legs, but some of you might be able to do lower block. I can't really. Take a forward step, with your left foot, and now take your right leg way back. So you want to feel like you've got room to move. Don't bring your blocks close to you. That'll never work. And then from here, push down and lift up. And then land lightly. Push and lift. So this is a little bit like the flossing idea, only now we're working. Now what would happen if you thought, oh, could I bend my knee? Push up and lift. Can I do that? Bend and tap. So it's a nice little fun, think of it as like a game or a little fun thing you might do with a grandkid. And then what could you do? Could you take your hands off the blocks? Woo, that one's harder. I'm playing with it just like you are. I'm grateful for my wall here. And down and up. Hands go back to the blocks. Feet come back together. Inhale, come halfway up. Fingers can be on the blocks or on your own legs. Exhale, float all the way down. Pause there for a moment. And then move your blocks and step back again to child's pose or downward facing dog. Remember, shoulders wrapped away from the ears, not toward them. You might feel your shoulder blades kind of squeeze together. Really press into your index finger and your thumb. Use the tips of your fingers. One more breath here. We're going to do one more core work before we get down on the floor. So we're coming to plank, and then the knee is going to cross to the opposite elbow. So it's inhale forward, exhale cross, go back, take it forward and cross, and go back. Take it forward and cross and go back. Ask yourself, does it feel fluid? Can you touch each arm? And back. You can have your feet wider apart. It draws a bigger diagonal across the body. So you're working with your X muscles, the ones that cross from right to left and left to right. One more time each side. Last one. Good. Knees to mat, hips to heels. Turn your hands over, pump your fingers. Rest. Take a rest. Alrighty. From here, I want you to come up into your sitting position. Take your feet out in front of you and open your feet wide. And I'll show this to you in segments. Again, always. So this is going to ask something of your inner and outer hip. So be careful. Remember, if you don't have a lot of range or you've got an injury, close your legs. Wider apart, more range. See how I'm leaning back on my arms? You're going to come up and go over. And you're testing yourself. Can I do this full range of motion internally and externally? And maybe no. Go where you can go. So if you're doing this, I want you to pay attention to your core. Exhale, belly in as you rotate around. Inhale while you're here. Exhale, belly in, rotate around. Okay, this is level 1. Level 2, when you're down and around, I want you to reach back, maybe lift your hips. Down, around, switch arms, reach around and back, maybe lift your hips. Down. Now, if you're lifting your hips, your back foot is going to point. You're going to be more on your shins. In fact, both feet could point. Down, around, point your feet, come up on your shins. Yeah? Third level, no hands. Down, around, point your feet, lift. So if you have hip stuff, please don't do this with no hands. Especially if you've got a chronic issue. My good friend Chris could never do this now. And around. And are you coming off your mat? That's not a bad thing. And let's do one more on each side. And what I want you to do, if you're coming up, is push this back hip forward. Come down, around, push this back hip forward. Down and pause. Find your mat, find your feet. Could you hold your ankles, the bottoms of your feet or your big toes, sit up really straight. All right, let your knees fall open. Shoulders are wrapped down your back body. Collarbones are open. Throat is open. If you can fold forward a little bit, go ahead, but don't try to overdo that. People that are super flexible can do that easily, but it may not be the best. So let's play with this. Press your feet into each other. Can you press your feet into each other? Heels and balls of the feet. Can you feel the muscle engagement in your legs and your hips? Then see if you can come forward. Push your feet like you're trying to squish them together, and then see if you can come forward. All right, keep the leg engagement. Do it one more time. Push the feet and then maybe come a little bit forward. As I've taught in my muscle class, go ahead and come up. The joints need stability, not tightness, but stability in order for them to function well. And so if they're super loose, there's not a lot of stability. And if they're super tight, there's not a lot of stability. All right. So let's play with this just a little bit more. Lean back on your right hand, grab your big toe with your left hand and go out. Now, if you've got balance, you can take your hand off the floor. Sit up nice and tall. Try not to collapse. Sit up nice and tall. Yes. Go ahead and release it. Switch your feet. Remember, your hand can be behind you. Take the leg open. Will it go all the way out there? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the other hand comes up. Lift the heart, lift the heart. You're sitting on your sit bones, not on your tailbone. And release. Who wants to play with me? I'm off the floor. Try to stay closer to your sit bones than your tailbone. And maybe lift one leg. Maybe lift the other. Sit up tall, sit up tall. If you fall over, it's okay. Laugh. Yes. Come back in carefully, slowly, with control. And rest. Bring your legs together. Shake your legs out. Let me check the time. Alrighty. I have to keep moving my mat. It keeps sliding around on this carpet. All right, so let's use the length of your mat. And I want you to pick up a weight. It can be whatever weight you choose. Light weight is fine. I'm just going to use one heavy, and I'm going to bring it to my chest. I want the knees bent, but not real close to you. Give yourself some room. Sit up tall. And then lean back and find that place where you're like, oh, I'm going to fall over backwards. Core body's engaged. Spine is long. Nothing hurts. Take the weight off your body. And we're going to turn to one side. You may or may not touch the floor. A lot of people like to touch the floor. Don't worry about that. Come back to center and turn. Come back to center and turn. Come back to center and turn. If your feet are wide apart, you're going to have more base, if you will. All right. Now from this center place, touch your chest, push it forward and up. Come back in, twist and twist. Chest, push forward and up. Chest, twist and twist. Chest, forward and up. Chest, twist and twist. Be honest with your form. If you feel like it's too hard, get rid of the weights. If your hip flexors are killing you, it's your core body not engaged, so tighten your stomach muscles more. We'll do one more. Touch, twist, and twist. Now hold the weight to you. See if you can roll down. All right. Leave your head and head down, shoulders down. Legs are going to be bent, but they don't have to be, you know, like tightly bent, just enough so that your back feels comfortable. Take your weight into one hand. I don't care which one it is. Your other hand's going to rest on your abdomen. And I want you to stay really square here. I don't want you to move off of your space while you take this arm out and up. If there isn't a lot of challenge here, you can always switch to a heavier weight, but we are working long lever, which is a shoulder move. And you want to pay attention more to the core of your body. If this is super easy for you, you could do this all day long. I want you to take your legs off the floor. So the only thing holding you here is your oblique muscles. Now I'm going to add on. So we're going to take the arm up to the ceiling, cross it over to the other side of the shoulder. Come up to the ceiling and open it out. Feet can be up or down, doesn't matter to me. Just do what's best for your body. We're working in that weird shoulder again, external, internal rotation. So wherever you are, can you keep your body, the box of your body, completely still? Last one. Open. And cross. Good. If your feet are up, bring them down for a minute and bring your weight back to your chest. Change your arms. So when I'm here and I get ready, I want to put my other hand on my body. I want to find the box, the two shoulders and the two hips. That's going to stay really still in neutral spine. So you're bracing yourself while you take this arm away from you and back up. Most of us are weaker in one side. So just note yourself. I can tell how my right side hip wants to lift up as I take this arm out. So I have to really focus on this right side. And if you want more challenge, remember, take your legs off the floor. I like to cross my ankles, but you don't have to. And then the next time your arm comes up, I want you to crisscross it over the other arm, other shoulder. So up, go open, up. This side is really edgy for me. That's so interesting. So we're working on left shoulder, anterior cross diagonal pattern to the right hip, right lower back. That's what we're working here. So if you find that you're having trouble, that pattern is weak. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have weaker and stronger patterns. But you do want to pay attention and maybe work it a little bit more so you can be more even and balanced. Last time, up and over, keep this steady, and up and cross. Good, and then let your feet come down, set your weight off to the side. All righty, from here, bring your right knee to your chest, let your left leg go all the way out. And take a breath. Let your shoulders allow a little bit of a pull, but not too much, overworking the arm. Now maybe You can take your right hand to the inside of your right leg and grab your big toe. We did this already sitting. This left leg stays down as you take your right leg open and out. Now, if this isn't your game, you can hold the back of your leg or maybe your ankle. Find something to hold. Your left side body is anchored to the floor. From here, bend your left leg as you bring in your right and crisscross ankle over knee and move into figure 4. Flex both feet, and if you like, your lower leg can come up straight, or you can keep it bent. Remember that we're working on the right outer hip, so the lower back is not pressing flat into the floor. Allowing that nice, easy stretch. Stay where you are, just drop your left foot and bring your hips a little bit over to the right. Drop over to the left. See if you can grab your ankle with your left hand. Reach your right arm over your head. Big inhale here. Really open up this whole right side. Right hip, right lower back, ribs, armpit, chest. Big breath. Now, knee is pointing to the ceiling, right? Can you drop the knee towards the floor? Grab a hold of that outer hip, outer leg, and give it just a little bit more of a pull. Like you're trying to touch that knee to the floor. Dance between the shoulder and the hip and the knee. And then come back up to center. Find your place in the middle. Rearrange yourself a little bit. And then we'll do the other side. Left knee comes to chest, right leg goes down. And let this be a rest here. This is your final stretches, easy. And then from here, maybe the left hand can grab either the outer side of the leg or the ankle or the big toe, anchor down your right side as you open your left leg out. The distance here doesn't matter to me. Some people can take it more straight up. Some people go out to the side more. What I want is a nice healthy stretch in your left leg and your right side body's anchored. I've got the wall here, but I'm not using it. Take one more breath. And then as you start to bring the leg in, bend the right knee and ankle and knee touch, merge, and then you reach around and grab your right thigh. Figure 4, maybe the right leg is straight, maybe not. Breathing, shoulders on your back, throat open. Allow the right foot to land on the floor. Hop your hips a little bit over to the left, and then twist to the right, grabbing the ankle on the way down. Take your left arm up and over. Big stretch through your left side body. Big breath through the left side body. And as you exhale, you can start to let this knee drop in, grab a hold of the outer thigh and give it a little bit of assistance. And again, as if you're trying to bring the knee to the floor, dance between that left shoulder and the dropping into the knee. Not really compromising your body to get anywhere, just find your edge. Take one more breath here. And then allow yourself to come back up, unwind, find the center. And now 2 knees to chest. Give it a little hug, maybe a little rock. If you like, your head can come up and bring your head and your knees toward each other. Releasing head, releasing feet. We're going to find our way to Shavasana from here. Maybe take your bolster and put it under your legs. Last Shavasana with me in 2023. I did some of my favorite moves today. Hopefully they were some of yours. Make the Shavasana your favorite. We still have one more day left in this year, so don't forget to move your body tomorrow. Do a little meditation, reflection. Follow the enthusiastic energy into the new year. As we always do, you cover yourself up, you get yourself really cozy, and then once you're done moving, take that nice deep breath. As you exhale, let it signal to your body that you're still. No more work, no more, nothing to do. Quiet. Take a deeper breath. And gently starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bringing yourself back to your body, back to the space around you. And as you feel ready, you can bend your knees and roll to a side, slowly making your way up to sitting. Once you're seated, allow the hands to come to the heart center. I like thumbs to touch the breastbone as that connection there. Reminding you that this mudra, wisdom on one hand, compassion on the other, together at the heart, helps us to stay centered. Remember our intention, remember who we are and our purpose as we leave 2023 and enter that vortex of 2024. And gratitude for our time together on the mat, our deep body wisdom and guiding light. May our light always shine brightly, and may we always see the light in each other. Namaste.